So this is our group's marketing plan presentation for Entrepreneurship 342. For the business opportunities for our products and services, so all the products and services that we have come up with are student-oriented. They're new ideas and they would improve both student life and Ball State's reputation. So for the products, our first one is a cushion hammock. And so there's a lot of opportunity for this because a lot of students spend a lot of time studying outside or just like spending time outside in the quad or in front of the architecture building in the warmer months on those grassy areas. And right now, people use Enos, which are hammocks, but they're not super comfortable when you're trying to do anything other than just like taking a nap. So if you're trying to study, they're not great. And there's also no current campus access to these. The next product is electronic bus map stations. And so these would be paid for by the school and placed in all of the bus stops. And they would just locate all of the buses so you would know when your bus is coming. And so these would ensure that students will have access to bus schedules in order to be on time for class. And there's also a lot of campus development right now, a lot of new buildings and dorms popping up. So this would really kind of boost that, add to that development and make our campus stand out. It'd definitely be an attraction. For the services, our first one is an on-campus mechanic. And so a lot of students have really long commutes home. So if they have to go home for break and drive a few hours, but something's wrong with their car, like that's not safe. So we would provide affordable services like auto repair services such as an oil change, replacing an air filter, or replacing tires. So there is obviously a lot of opportunity for this because students don't really have that kind of access and it's not safe for them to drive all the way home to do that. And then our next service is an on-campus lawyer. So a lot of times college students will get into legal trouble, and a lot of the main problems for college students would be like drugs and alcohol, having a fake ID, and hazing. If you're in Greek life, I know there's a lot of that there. So having a lawyer on campus would kind of just give students trust in the school, and it would show that the school cares about our academic success and getting students back on track when they go through some hard legal times. So our position statements for the products for cushion hammocks, we have giving Ball State students access to cushioned hammocks would support their idea to study and spend time outside in the warmer months, as cushioned hammocks are much more comfortable and efficient for studying than popular hammocks we see students using today. For electronic bus map stations, we have written stationing electronic bus maps at campus bus stops would help students efficiently make it to class, meetings, or appointments by giving them access to all active bus routes on a big screen. This easy access would give the student much more time to plan out their route and be much more efficient than a slow phone app, which is what we have now, especially on busy days when our phones aren't charged or we've forgotten them at home. For the services, for the mechanic, we have written providing an affordable car mechanic for students with far commutes will ensure students feel safe when traveling home or back to school. This will show that the school cares about its students' safety and will do what it takes to support them. For the lawyer, we have college students will sometimes find themselves in unfortunate legal situations, and providing them with a campus lawyer that is trusted in common college student casework will make the cases convenient and quick so that students will be able to recover and go back to focusing on their studies. This will also prove that the university cares about supporting its students and helping them get on the right track academically. So pricing for our products, for the hammocks, they would be $60 outright, or you can rent them for $10 an hour from Student Center, TIS, or the bookstore. And the cost is estimated to be about $40, making the markup percentage 50%, which is pretty average. And then the competitor for these hammocks would be Eno, and they only charge $50 for a single nest, which is a one-person hammock, but these aren't really accessible to our students, and they're not cushioned for study comfort, which is a big thing on a school campus like this. So for the bus map stations, the school would buy these and they'd be charged $1,500. The cost for making these is estimated at $800, making the markup percentage around 87.5%. A competitor for these kiosks would be Hushida, and they sell theirs for about $1,900. So for an on-campus mechanic, an oil change would be $50, an air filter would be $60, and it would be $120 to replace a tire, like on average. It really depends on the car. So the cost for these are $30 for the oil change, $40 for an air filter, and $80 for a tire, making the markup percentages 66.6%, 50%, and 50%. A competitor for this would be Jiffy Lube, and they charge around like $5 to $15 more for each of those, and those are listed there. For the on-campus lawyer, for drug and alcohol charges, it would be $1,500. For a fake ID, it would be $3,000, and for hazing, it would be $2,500. This seems like a lot, but you can go to jail for all of these things, so it really is worth it. And then I have the costs listed out, and that makes the markup percentages 30%, 50%, and 47%. Competition, a competitor for this lawyer would be Daig and Buck, which is just a law firm in Muncie, and their prices are around the same, but a little more at $2,000, $3,000, and $3,000.
My name is Hayleigh Wilson, and the first slide that I have was target customers, market size, and market growth rate. Our target customers were Ball State students, and our market size was 21,998 students that attend Ball State, and all of the students are potential buyers. Therefore, 21,998 is the market size because our services / products accommodate to both men and women at Ball State. Our market growth rate graph is right down here, as you can see, and it's for Ball State student enrollment. It looks like it's pretty steady and then has a huge drop off, but it's actually only by 2%. So this is showing our enrollment rate from 2017 to 2020, and it's pretty constant, even though it looks like it dropped off. And then the next graph that I have is our direct competitor, and then the first direct competitor is our mechanic. The direct competitor for the on-campus mechanic would be people's hometown mechanics and mechanics in Muncie alone. Their strengths would be that they have been there for a while and or have been trusted by the person's families before. Their weaknesses would be that they are far drive and don't accommodate to students. We would compete against them by offering a close location and student discount. And then for our lawyer, the direct competitor would be lawyers everywhere in multiple locations all over the world, the state. Their strengths would be that they have more experience and trusted by potential clients' families. Their weaknesses would be that they are not offered close to campus and don't offer potential student clients a way to understand legalities on their own without their families. We would compete against them by offering a student discount and a trusted by many lawyer. And this is direct competitors continued. For our electronic bus map stations, a direct competitor would be the bus maps on your phone. Their strengths would be that is very convenient and the person will know where their bus is whenever they want. Their weaknesses would be that if their phone died, they can't tell the estimated arrival of the bus or where the bus is at all. And we would compete with them by offering a more accurate and detailed map, as well as having them at each bus stop station. And then for our cushioned hammocks, the direct competitor for cushioned hammocks would be regular outdoor hammocks. Their strengths would be that they are well known and cheaper in some instances. Their weaknesses are that they can get very uncomfortable, and we would compete with the regular hammocks by adding extra comfort to our hammocks, as well as offering them to students on campus. And then the last slide that I had was our business model. For the mechanic, we will generate revenue from Ball State students who do not live close and need a trustworthy mechanic for their car repairs. And for the lawyer, we will generate revenue from Ball State students who want to learn more about legalities and need a trustworthy lawyer in Muncie for when something unexpected happens that involves the law. For our electronic bus map stations, we will generate revenue from the stations because more people will probably decide to ride the buses if bus map stations are offered to them. This is for Muncie moguls too, and just students that wouldn't ride the bus in general before because of their phones and not knowing where it is. The cushioned hammocks, we will generate revenue first from Ball State students, but then people all over the world. We will charge a small amount of students or a small amount to the students that will then make our product more well known. And we do believe that our cushion hammocks will be provided eventually all over the world because it's a universal item. It's not just directed towards Ball State students, even though our other businesses are, and this is going to start with Ball State students. It'll eventually go to being just a regular product for everyday people.
For the promotion strategy, the mechanic, this could be easily promoted through Ball State University since this will be servicing primarily for students, and there can be flyers on campus, and this can be promoted through everyone's Ball State emails. There could be flyers around the village since most of the students eventually go to the village at some point of being at Ball State or live in the village. For the lawyer, this could also be a service that could be promoted through their Ball State emails. This could be a bonus of going to Ball State, students knowing that they have an affordable lawyer for if they have any trouble with housing or affording school, or if they get in any trouble. This could also be good for the lawyer because they would have for sure clients as long as this was at an affordable rate or better than a normal lawyer for students. The electronic bus map would be easy to promote because the students will see them all over. I'm sure the students would be talking about them. This could also be promoted through the Ball State email, and there could be signs placed on campus and in the village. The hammocks would be an easy product to promote because students at Ball State always are hanging their hammocks in the trees, and this would be promoted through Ball State's student email and poster advertising. Students could rent these at an affordable price to study or relax in. The business risk and control. The mechanic, the risk would be that the mechanic would not make enough money off of just Ball State students on a college campus. The control would be using a lot of advertising and showing students how convenient this is. The lawyer, the risk for this is that there wouldn't be enough business also, and that there would be either a lot of small cases or just a few big ones. I think that this would be a safe option as long as the prices are good and better than most lawyers, and as long as the lawyer is willing to work with the students and have meetings with their families and deal with it on a personal level. I think that would end up being the control for that. The electronic bus map, the risk would be that the university wouldn't get the use out of it to make it worth the cost. The control for this would be that it makes the university look great and inviting for students who are afraid that they would get lost. The hammocks, the risk would be if people damaged or didn't return these hammocks, and also if enough people used them to keep them running. I think the safest option one moment. I think that the safest option for this would be a lot of advertising. For the management team, for the mechanic, there would be one main mechanic and maybe a few people to work at the shop as well. There would most likely only be the need for one mechanic since this would primarily be for students and their families. The lawyer, there would only need to be one lawyer and possibly an assistant to deal with the meetings and stuff. There wouldn't be a need for a huge management team since this would mostly be used for small student problems and one client at a time, most likely. Electronic bus map, there would need to be somebody to put the electronic bus maps in around campus. After that, there wouldn't need to be somebody keeping track of them and making sure that they work correctly. The university would front the initial cost. So there would have to be a deal between the university and the electronic bus map, whoever puts those in. The hammocks, there would need to be a team of people, possibly students, running the hammock business. It would cost $10 to rent one, so somebody would most likely have to be running the renting and the buying, and this would most likely be employed by the university.